The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Just kidding, guys. We like to prank you here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Nicole is out in Oxnard, so she's joining us via the phone. Nicole Hutchison, Aisha Morrison, Jess Navarez.
What's up, girl?
We're back. Episode 2 of these training camp editions of Girls Talk, Boys Talk. First of all, Aisha, I was asking Nicole how the weather was over there, how things were going. Mm-hmm. How is it in Oxnard? Aside football, we're talking food, weather, everything else. How is Nicole doing over there in Oxnard?
When I do get to eat, girl, I mean, it is good. But, no, I mean, the weather's fine. It's, like, hot, but not hot, if y'all get what I'm putting down. Like, it'll be chilly. Yeah. Like, right now I have a jacket on, and it's kind of cold. But the sun is beautiful. So, you know, we're working with the weather out here. It's getting some, you know, accustomed to it a little bit.
Yeah,
well, you're working with the weather. You're getting accustomed to the weather. Meanwhile, it seems like the team is working with Shotty and getting accustomed to the discipline that he wants for the team. One of the headlines coming out of the last couple of days of practice are the scuffles that are going on between multiple guys. He touched on this in the press conference. Dak talked about it. CD talked about it. Let's get right to it. Ladies, I'm going to leave this up for open conversation. Seeing these scuffles, seeing the feistiness, good or bad thing in your opinions? Go.
I'm not going to lie. I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I feel like, and Shotty loves it too. I mean, he said it. He loves the way that these guys are bringing, like, you know, the intensity, right? But he also did bring up the fact that, like, okay, in real games, you get fined. You get consequences, right? And so, I mean, I think it is important to know a good balance. You also have to make sure you are practicing that discipline. So then when somebody is tagging on your face mask, you know, in a mid-game, like, you gotta be able to hold your composure. I mean, unless you want to cost, you know, get penalties or get $45,000 fines, as he said, which some people, you know, can afford. Unfortunately, can't. But, you know, yeah, like, I mean, but that's something that, you know, even CD talked about it too. Like, he believes that they need to instill more discipline. He said that, you know, even though he's not really a part of it, which yesterday's a little different, you know, that he wants to do a better job of holding people accountable, including himself. So, yeah, definitely I love it, but I think there needs to be a good balance.
Yeah, I'm definitely here for it because it just lets you know how intense the guys are. You know, when you start talking about fights, they be happening in the beginning and they be happening at the end because they sick of each other. So I'm not surprised that that's kind of the energy. I like the fact that he is enforcing that if you do that here, I'm going to treat it like it's a game. Because that's something that needs to translate. And then also, too, he just don't want. I know I understand that this is like, they got a lot of juices flowing, even from listening to the pressers and the interviews and stuff. These guys are ecstatic to be out there. But I did take away from it the fact that I like the fact that he's put into that disciplinary note. We already got to hear him tell them about themselves too. I was like, okay, Shotty, Nicole, was you out there with he got onto them?
Girl, yes. And, like, I was trying to listen to what he was saying, but I was kind of too far from what all I heard was, get it together. And then the rest I could barely hear. But he said his wife got on him about cursing him
I know,
out
I had me screaming.
Doing all that. So, but, I mean, like, but they like, listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way that, you know, they are able to take in information. And they have that relationship with Shotty where he can get in their butts. You know what I'm saying? And tell it like it is. So, I mean, like, I'm here for it, man. I love it. Love to see it. I hope it keeps going. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think for me, it's testing kind of the discipline. And, you know, we've touched on this, but keep in mind, last year, and this has been a thing that we broken record about on the podcast. Can you hear me? There. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
I know.
Hello.
I know it sounded weird.
We're going to start again. Retake. Something for the socials. Something I wanted to point out is discipline has been an issue that we've been talking about for years. And this was under Mike McCarthy, of course. We know Shoddy's coming in year one. But I'd like to remind you that last year, your Dallas Cowboys were 6th overall in the most penalties in the NFL with 128 penalties, costing them 922 yards with these penalties. So with a game of inches, 922 yards, when you really think about it, how many plays that impacted that could have been game-changing plays from losses to wins, that's a really big deal. And, you know, they're not afraid of that. They know that. They're not shying away from that fact. But I want to see if this Schottenheimer, I guess, era is better with the discipline. And the guys are saying it, right? We need to be more disciplined. We need it. I know CD mentioned that as well. But other than Shoddy using some choice words that Mrs. Schottenheimer was not okay with, I want to kind of know behind the scenes what those, I would love to be a fly on the wall to what those conversations really are. And, you know, we see that with little things, the tight ends doing the push-ups between dropped passes, and Dak Prescott I saw was doing some sit-ups with them and just showing that brotherhood aspect of it. But for me, this goes to penalties, and this is an area of this team that is vital to improve upon, because this could literally mean, especially in this NFC East conference alone, this could be the difference between missing or making the playoffs.
Yeah, and think about the schedule. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nicole. We can't.
No, I was just going to say real fast, like, you know, and you think about the schedule that they have, like,
100%.
Y'all ain't got no room for error.
Facts.
Like, Kansas City, come on. Talk about it.
I don't want another gloomy Thanksgiving, girl. No thanks.
Lions, like, you feel me? Like, you don't have any room for no nonsense. So, like, go ahead, play discipline, and call it a day.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how I see it.
Brian Schottenheimer broke down that, you know, not all penalties are the same. So, kind of to Jess's point about the penalties, it's like, are these pre-snap penalties? Are these, you know, like bonehead stuff? Are we messing up substitutions, et cetera, et cetera? One thing I will say about camp so far from the outside looking in is the fact that the guys seem like they're moving with pace and everything. I think that he wants to set the tone to be able to dictate the pace of games and the way that things go, to change the tempo, to hurry up to the line, to do those things. And in order to do those things, not only does the communication have to be good, but you also have to have the discipline that Jess is talking about, so you're not getting these self-inflicted wounds and things like that. We just saw that the Cowboys have been one of the worst teams on first and second down for several years. One of the best on third down. It might have something to do with quarterback. But the rest of it, they put themselves behind the chains often because of these things, just these little bonehead things, and I think he's trying to get that under control. But I like the energy. They've been talking mess to each other since day one.
Yeah.
When we was at mini camp, they was talking mess to each other. Like, so if that's the type of time they on, I'm down with it. So let's. You know,
I think part of it too is the temperament from these guys and learning how to handle temperament. And I think Shoddy going in with all of these little competitions that he's doing, whether it be with ping pong, basketball, you know, all these other things he's doing outside, that teaches them the control of their temperament while still being competitive. And I think that's also just a really underrated aspect of what Shoddy is coming in here to do. But I'm here looking at the stats from last year and the penalties. All teams in the NFC East were in the top 16. I'm only saying 16 because the Giants were there. But if you want to set yourself apart in the NFC East, if you eliminate those penalties, and to your point, Aisha, the pre-snap penalties specifically, look, you could easily, like I said, take more of a dominating approach in the NFC East, which y'all know didn't slow down during this offseason and is going to continue to be competitive. So, but let's see more of it. And something I wanted to ask you, Nicole, is during yesterday's scuffle, you were laughing because you were saying CD said he wasn't involved, and then we all saw the video, and I noticed Jake Ferguson actually coming in to his defense. Like, it was cool to see the camaraderie between these guys of, nope, you're not going to touch him. That's my wide receiver. And Jake was quick with it, you know, and you know that tight end room has dogs in there that will do that. Have you, comparing it kind of to last year, do you feel like that bond is a little bit more tight than it was last year? Have you noticed kind of a difference in that bond overall between the entire team and not just split offense to defense?
Absolutely. And I mean, that's Shotty's mantra, is family, right? That it kind of goes back to the off season, making sure that these guys spend time with each other outside of football, going to each other's events, and, workouts and things like that. But he also mentioned that, the defensive coaches go up to the offensive players, every one of them, in warm-ups. Mm-hmm. And the same thing works for offensive coaches. They go up to the defensive players, every one of them. And so, I mean, I definitely see, even though, they're scuffling and talking crap to each other. I mean, that's just a part of the game. It's competition. He wants competition. He said from the time y'all eating breakfast, like, wake up. I don't care if y'all sleeping. Like, compete. You know what I'm saying? Like, do everything with an intentionality and competition. But as long as we know and understand that, like, we're still brothers. At the end of the day, we're still family at the end of the day. So, I've definitely seen that camaraderie kind of grow a lot more than I did, honestly, last year. And not that, saying that they weren't close last year, because, again, we don't know what happens behind closed doors, right? But I can see on the field that it seems like they're a lot more of a family.
Yeah, I mean, I took the time to look at all the pressers from yesterday and getting the opportunity to hear from CD, to hear from Dak, to hear from Shotty, those guys. And one thing I will say, like, listen, hey, man, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm not going to get all, like, in my feels and stuff, but listening to these pressers and the maturity from CD Lamb, the poise from Dak, these gentlemen seem like they have a plan and they understand what Shotty wants them to pursue, and I think that is helping them find belief in what he wants. What he wants from this team. When you listen to all the player interviews, I'm hearing the word fun. I'm hearing the word understood. I'm hearing the word and there's a oneness in the conversation, and I think that does start from the top down of setting the tone for you playing for your brother. And I thought CD had a fantastic quote from his presser yesterday. He was talking about in regard to being, obviously being away from the team last year and then having to come back and try to kind of play catch up and build connection with Dak and everything. He said he mentioned that in the San Fran game that he had a moment where he realized like he was playing for himself and not for the team. And that's something that he wants to, that he looked at himself and had to look within himself and say, like, this is, what am I doing this for? And if I don't do this for my brother or vice versa, this play's not going to work. It's never going to work. And that's something that Shotty even mentioned yesterday, too, is that this is a team sport. Like, it's not one of those things. It's not an individual sport. So I think that you're seeing a lot of gratitude from these guys, from Dak and CD, just to play the game, just to be around, just to be healthy, and a lot of poise from them. I will say, and watching Dak the last 4 years, I mean, and being around this building and throughout his career, this is one of my favorite interviews of his. And also, I think the focus that he has right now is something I'm not sure I've seen from him in his career so far.
Nicole, I want to ask you too, and great point bringing up CD talking about that. That was honestly, that showed the maturity that CD has gained over the years of admitting that out loud, because the first step is admitting it to yourself, and then you admit it out loud. And that tells me that he learned from that and that that's not going to be the case anymore. But he did mention, not having camp last year. We all know that situation very well and how it played out. We know that. We live it every year. But, then the starters don't get any preseason time. And then, really, we always talk about how September football is kind of everybody catching up that didn't get that time, especially if they weren't at camp. Do you feel like under the Shotty era, that's going to continue where starters don't necessarily see a snap in preseason because that was what was happening prior? Or do you feel like there could be a little philosophy change with that? Do we have any kind of cue in on that yet?
I'm not going to lie to you. So he was asked about this, actually, I think day 2 or day 3, maybe day 2. And he basically said, like, I want them to compete every day in camp, and we'll see what happens.
That's fair.
So I think we might see some starters playing in the preseason. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, because you have new guys. You have guys like Miles Sanders, Kyrie Javonte Williams. You have so many new pieces that could potentially start where you can see it in camp, but, like, you weren't playing or given the opportunities at your team where you were before. Mm-hmm. So you got to see that live game action. I think that, Shotty meant what he said when he wants everybody to compete for that starting job. And it's not going to just happen in training camp. You got to see it in live game action, not week one when you're, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I truly feel like we might see a couple of starters playing in the preseason.
Aisha, do you agree with that? Or do you want to see some starters in preseason, or are you cool with, sitting depending on their situations?
Well, yeah, I think so. For me, it's less about the skill positions and more about the, like, offensive line. That's the biggest unit that I would think needs that time. I think the skill positions is a little bit more easy transitionally, but the offensive line really does need the time. And this is something that Dak Prescott mentioned in his interview yesterday, is that he said, like, he emphasized you need the same 5 or 6 guys to play together and gain continuity and understanding of each other. And so for me, we see some of the best teams in the league do it. It's not, sometimes they might play a whole series.
Yeah.
Obviously, I believe the joint practice with the Rams is going to be huge. Sure. Obviously, although it is a controlled environment, it is going to be your first look at your team against another team, and I do think that they're going to turn up tempo there. But then I also think that because Shotty has set the tone for competing every day, like his little hoodie said, since he set the tone for that, I think that's why you heard him say, Nicole, that he's gauging, like, okay, if they're competing every day with each other like this, I'm setting, like, they compete about everything. Like y'all were talking about, they compete on ping pong. They be playing chess. It's already ingrained in them. Yeah. So it's like, all right, when we're ready to go, we're ready to go. But I'm not opposed to teams letting their starters play a series or two in preseason. I just think it's a part of the ramp up at this point, and I think it's considerate of them to do that instead of having them week one. I mean, this Philly game is going to be a big game. All eyes on you. You starting the season. You want to be as prepared as possible.
I think with as many guys that had injuries last year, I'm okay with it being on an individual basis of who sits a little bit more during the preseason and who doesn't.
Yeah, fair.
I think it's not kind of a one-size-fits-all situation to, hey, everybody, all the starters get at least one series. Like Dak, I would love to see one series and then you're done. I don't want to see you for the rest of preseason. Don't want to see you until week 1. But also, with the amount of regulations that the NFL has for padded practices, to your point about the offensive line, I mean, that goes for even the trenches on the defensive line. They need their reps as well. And I think there's certain position groups, such as the running back room, the tight end room, the DEs even, the cornerback room, that you don't actually know who your guy is for these positions until after preseason. So I think it's also a very telling time, and as we know, it's a time for guys to stand out. But with that, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some fun things that have been seen at camp, little changes that you might want to keep an eye out for yourself. This is Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. We'll be right back.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbers, pot pie, and potatoes, and next oval with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Do it for confidence on and off the field. Do it for you. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Don't wait. Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys Nation, the 2025 Dallas Cowboys schedule is officially here and limited tickets are available now. Get ready to bring the noise as you watch the Cowboys live live at AT&T Stadium when they host the NFC East rivals Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and the Cardinals. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Dang, they got some big games this year.
Let's go. We're officially 15 days away from the Dallas Cowboys' first preseason game, Saturday, August 9th, against the Rams. So coming up sooner rather than later, y'all, we are just on the cusp of football season.
For the game.
Back at it with Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Aisha Morrison, Nicole Hutchison out in Oxnard. Jess Navarre is here today. Ladies, let's start with some injury updates and kind of where those stand. Nicole, you heard from Sam Williams yesterday. Always such a fun time talking to Sam. He's so great to talk to and just his sense of humor. But Sam Williams out with an ACL last year, and this was devastating because this was finally his shot. He was looking great up until this point. I remember him being a standout guy when the injury happened. It happened, took him out. Nicole, what were some of the highlights from what Sam had to say about coming back from this ACL?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the fact that he understands that, like, he was way too, I don't want to say way too high, but way too high on himself a little bit. And he kind of told Joe Hoyt that he was invincible. He felt invincible. And just talking to him out here, you can just tell that, like, he's truly, I'll say, blessed to be here. And the maturity has definitely taken a jump as well, like these other guys. And I think it's credit to the coaching staff that they have. Obviously Brian Schottenheimer and Matt Eberflus probably letting these guys know, like, hey, like, it's time to grow up, and sometimes you need a new coaching staff or somebody in your corner to kind of let you know that. But no, his fire's been great. Every play, high motor, playing aggressive. And just the fact that, like, typically, you see guys who tear their ACLs and get these injuries and they're kind of hesitant, kind of playing a little timid. He's literally not. And so, yeah, I think just hearing him talk about, him being blessed to be here, and thankful for even taking out time to, make sure he was there rehabbing every single day and talking about that. He never missed a day. So that shows that he's obviously, locked in and making sure that, that football is a priority, And he's also said that, sometimes it takes things like that happening for these guys to understand, like, okay, I can really do this, play this game, and feed my family. And so, yeah, I think, he's been in good spirits every single day here. He's been focused. So, yeah, I've been impressed with the way that Sam has come along. And this defensive end competition. Like,
Talk
they're
about
trying
it.
to figure out who's going to be playing on the other side of Michael Parsons.
Yep.
And you got Marshawn Nealon, who is having a great camp right now. Excuse me, Lord. Right now, you have Donovan Ezeraku, the rookie, who gunned for that spot and who has been playing very well one-on-one with Tyler Guyton and having some great reps. And so, yeah, like, it's not going to be easy. So he understands that. And I think that he has a good chance to, about Dante Fowler, my bad. Dang.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's stacked. It's all right.
tough.
It's stacked. That's good. That's a good problem to have. Aisha, what do you think?
Nah, yeah. In regard to Sam, so first of all, one thing that stood out to me as well is listening to the player interviews. There are multiple players where his name has come up in the conversation and talking about his intensity, just how adamant he was in the offseason to get healthy. And it's crazy because it's funny how we talked about Overshown, because I felt very sure that he was going to come back and still kind of be the same player with the first injury. Sam has that athleticism level as well, to where he has always been known as a crazy, crazy, crazy athlete. So I'm happy that he took his rehab seriously. But he is gifted, and I think that is why we see him on the field, able to get and being able to get after the quarterback the way he is now. You talked about some of the battles he's having with Tyler Guyton and some of those guys. That is like going to help grow Tyler Guyton and vice versa. And I think those battles so far, from the clips I've seen, have been pretty evenly matched on both sides, which is very encouraging for someone like a Tyler Guyton. And also too for Sam, he's about to lose it when they put pads on. I watched his interview and he was just like, I don't even know what I'm going to do myself. I haven't worn pads. And I'm just, I will, and I'm going to say this again. When you listen to the guys talk, there is a sentiment of gratitude to play the game. Like, it is very different. And when I was listening to Sam talk on his interview yesterday, I was just like, man, he is really grown. He seems like he has a deep understanding of what he's being asked to do. And I want to make sure that we mention Coach Whitecotton, the new defensive line coach. I think he has a lot to do with these guys feeling this comfortable going into this new scheme as well. So I agree with you. And that defensive end room is shaping out to be, honestly, girl, you might have too many. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, it's shaping out to be
fun. That sounds fun to me.
This pass rush seems like it's gonna be a lot more. I think you're taking an uptick in speed on both sides of the ball. But I do think that Eberflus's system is gonna be a little bit more multiple than what maybe we've seen in the past. Even hearing how Shotty mentioned that he has some exotics where he's bringing blitzes, he's doing some twist stunts and things like that, and that even tripped him up with the offense the other day. So just excited about those guys growing, and I think in this game sometimes we kind of want to speed that up, and guys got to have their own time.
You know what that tells me about having such a depth pool in the defensive end room? Is that Micah Parsons can have a longer season without feeling so banged up.
Yeah, and that is still going to draw attention, girl.
But that is something that he hasn't had the luxury so much of having for a long time now, because he felt like the weight of the world or the weight of the defensive end room was on him for that pass rush. So it's a positive to keep your best players as healthy as you can by making their job easier, by giving them weapons around them that can be unpredictable, that you can do multiple things with, that Eberflus can have a good and fun time scheming with. Something that Sam Williams talked about too, he said 6'4", 260 pounds, I still ran 22 miles per hour. So he has that speed. That was fun. That was fun to hear him say. So he also was working, with Charles Haley. That was kind of cool to hear him say, Charles is giving him that mentorship and helping him with his handwork. Also, something that, hit all of us in the heart a little bit was he was asked about the absence of not having DeMarcus Lawrence in that room anymore. And he said he's kind of always with us because he's instilled that dog in that defensive end room with me, with Osa, with Micah, with all of these guys that he was around. So what I really like about Sam is that he's taking these bits and pieces from these knowledgeable players, no matter who they are, and he's listening, he's absorbing, he's being a sponge. And when you're a guy like Sam, who has had chance after chance, and then finally you're on the uptick, you get an injury, you get humbled, you learn you're not as big as you were, like those kind of things happen to you. He humbled himself to come down, and not to say he wasn't humbled before, but to come down, absorb, and be a sponge from these other guys. I think that's such an important aspect for him, and I'm really, really hopeful to see good things from Sam this year. So
yeah, I mean, if you got 4 guys that can get to the quarterback without having to help nobody out, I mean, you cooking with gas. You're going to be able to do more on the back end with your coverages. I think that, again, I'm really curious, and I know we're not going to get a look at it anytime soon because Eberflus is not going to show us everything. But I just wonder, like, I think that he sees the toolbox, the guys that he has in his toolbox, and that defensive end room might be, especially since there's still some uncertainty with the defensive tackle position. I know that we're still looking for, they're kind of rotating guys in and out of there. I mean, some of the edge guys are doing some of those things on the interior. So with what's going on in the interior and there's still being some uncertainty there, your edges and your linebackers are going to have to fly to the ball. That's something I heard Mayor Sliafau talk about, is all hats to the ball. They're working turnovers again. And we heard Brian Schottenheimer mention that Eberflus, we heard Eberflus, wants to have 40, and they say 40 turnovers this year. So you see them working that. You see them timing snaps and doing things like that. Seems like this defense is going to really be aggressive in the way that they want to play defense. And I think that they think it's just a collective effort for them to get where they want to be and especially improve the run defense.
On the other side of the...
to go back to what you were saying... Oh,
go
my
ahead.
bad.
No, you're good. Girl, go
no,
ahead. You go ahead. Girl, you
Sorry.
go ahead.
Going back to what Aisha was saying about, moving guys around, I think that's Eberflus's goal. He doesn't want any offense to be content to have with their game plan coming in, right?
Yeah.
You see guys like Mozzie Smith, kind of switching from one tech to three tech, playing a little bit of both. You have Marshawn Nealon. He told me that, even though he's kind of developed a nice little tool bag, right? But they have him kind of playing inside as well. So
yes.
I think that's the whole goal for Eberflus. He wants those to be multiple.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the ball, I wanted to give another injury update on Terrence Still. Jane Slater tweeted out that it seems like he has a high ankle sprain, and good news, everyone, he's only expected to miss a few days of camp. So definitely the best situation out of something that could have been a lot worse.
Nicole, do you have anything else?
Yeah.
The poor baby's he just tired. He was carrying the load for these guys the last couple of years.
Last 2 years, I missed the snap. He said,
he ain't missed a snap.
When you play every game like he did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving Terrence Steele some grace. But no, I actually was editing something yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to actually see it happen. But I think he will be fine from what we've been hearing to in camp. So he should be back by Monday.
I want to keep it. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I know that. Hold on. I think I have his info here. I don't want to mess it up. I'm trying to. No, I lost my note. Wait. Well, anyway, in regard to his high ankle sprain, I'm hoping that, obviously he's okay when he gets back and everything. It's just, the quarterback said it, so it's important to me too, is that he really wants this unit to get the time together. That he really wants these guys to get the time together to build some cohesiveness and everything for the season. So the right tackle position is kind of in flux a little bit. Nicole, do you know who stepped in his absence yesterday? Oh no, you just said you weren't there. You said you were something. No, she said
you're good.
It's
you're
a
good.
dingy. It's a
okay.
dingy.
Yeah.
It's a dingy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
the right tackle from I think it was.
I also saw that Nate Thomas was getting some reps at tackle as well, so that could be another option there. I think, like we were kind of talking about earlier,
a lot of reps behind Tyler Guyton too, kind of switching.
Yeah, Nate Thomas has
swing tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So are they doing swing tackle stuff, or is this more like this is your position? It feels like that they're not having guys like swing, like Awesome's just playing left, like Adenji is just playing right. Like I think that they're maybe trying to just keep guys where they are, and I'm facts.
They should.
And I'm actually okay with them allowing guys to play the size that they're comfortable doing.
Yeah.
It's Hakeem. My bad. Hakeem Adenji. Yeah. He stepped in Terrence Steele's place at right tackle yesterday. This is a veteran that the Cowboys signed. Has plenty of experience. He definitely plays the left side more. So I was like, okay. But
look, when you have that veteran experience, it's a little easier. But
I was like, okay.
Overall, I do agree with you on keep those guys on the side that they are comfortable at. Nicole, where are you with that philosophy? How do you feel about it?
With what? With what part? I'm sorry.
With like keeping guys on whatever side of the line they're comfortable at, or do you want a swing tackle? Do you want more of that versatility? Like obviously some players are capable of it because they've done it, but how do you feel about kind of shying away from that from what we've seen in past seasons?
I mean, it goes back to like Tyler Smith when he was playing, left tackle. They had him playing kind of both, left guard, left tackle. But now look at him now, Pro Bowler guy playing left guard. I think it is important to just keep guys playing the position they are comfortable with. But I do still see them just trying things out, which is it's still early. So they may be, you talk about Hakeem, right, who played a little bit more left tackle and stepped in for Terrence Steele, like Aisha mentioned, and at right tackle. There's some things that, they're still trying out. That's all I feel like I'm going to say.
And
but
that's
I
what
still
camp's
feel
for,
like,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But I like the fact that they would like to keep them playing the position that they feel comfortable with. But I think it'll still take some time to see, like, as far as these depth positions are, discussed.
Absolutely. We're going to take our next break. When we come back, we are going to talk a little quarterback. We're going to talk a little tight ends. And then Nicole has a guy she wants to highlight as well. So stick with us. This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. We'll be right back.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Do it for confidence on and off the field. Do it for you. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Don't wait. Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy Calvin. This stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the crews. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
This summer, step onto the field with the Dallas Cowboys youth football and dance camps presented by Invisalign. Athletes of all skill levels, ages 6 to 16, are invited to learn from former NFL players and the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. Campers have the chance to learn technical skills and lessons on teamwork. Visit DallasCowboys.com/camps to learn more.
Sounds similar to what the guys are doing in Oxnard right now. Sounds cool. Welcome back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. For Aisha Morrison, Nicole Hutchison, and Jess Navarre is here. Ladies, let's get into a little quarterback talk. What are some of the first impressions y'all have gotten for, 1, how Dak is feeling, and 2, who QB2 could kind of be leaning towards a little bit?
Nicole,
I just have to ask.
I knew you
There's
was gonna do
nothing
that.
set. I have to ask, okay?
wait.
Let me say.
What
Let
you
me
mean?
say.
It's not a question for me. It's Joe Milton. Is your two?
Joe Milton, absolutely.
Look, I'm just going by what Shotty said.
Oh,
He
no,
said
I'm
nothing
saying-
is set in stone for
Yeah.
anybody, okay?
Whatever.
I'm just being technical.
We
Like,
know.
dang.
We know, Coach. We know, but like.
Right.
Nah,
Right.
but from both of the quarterbacks, you're seeing like fantastic energy. You're seeing them command, the field. With Dak Prescott, I know a lot of people were worried about like if he was going to be ready to go to start camp, and I could tell by. I feel like we can kind of know him by now. You could tell by the way he was talking before now, even at like some of the events he was at, and people were kind of catching him that he was pumped to go. This team is very excited about this offense. Like, this offense is excited about this offense. When you listen to them talk about it, they're talking about how fun it is, the ability to, to use their speed and to be complex with the details and stuff. The quarterback seems so confident and poised and just sure of himself. And I do believe that he trusts what this offense is going to do and what they want to do. You saw him get a little excited talking about Pickens and CD and the addition of them and what they're going to be able to do with this backfield and some of the stuff they want to do. One thing, Nicole, before you speak, I wanted to say one more thing about Dak. Is that listening to his presser yesterday, he said something that stood out to me, and it made me very excited, and it made me feel good for him. He talked about finally having a true balance. He said, I think it's healthy now. This is the quote. He said, I think it's healthy now that when I get away from this building, getting away from here, my mind gets to leave here, whereas in the past it didn't.
Aww.
And he's talking about the fact that he can go home to his family and he has an outlet. He has people who love him and that he can go to and spend time with that take the stress off of him and being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback and being able to relax in that. So when he comes to work, he's enjoying it. It doesn't feel like, and so I feel like when you talk about the quarterback and what he is, how he's operating, he talked about, we seen him on the freaking, what was that stick over there galloping and acting a fool. And he was he said he didn't have his voice. They are having fun. They're enjoying themselves. They seem confident and comfortable. And I think that's important to Shotty. And I just think the quarterback I've never seen him seem like this before, personally.
Yeah. I mean, and it helps when you have guys in that room that make it easier. You guys, they're feeding off of each other's energy. Joe talks about Dak's energy. Dak talk about Joe and Will's energy, Will Greer's energy. And that's something that you need, even though they are, this is Dak's offense. Let's keep it a stack. But they're still competing every day against each other. You just need that high energy, and so I love seeing it. But your question, Jessica, I'm sorry, was who is number 2?
Girl, I just said, how's the quarterback competition going?
Yeah, she just said,
I didn't.
My bad.
I'm just saying, technically, there's nothing set. Like, Will Greer got a Super Bowl ring in the offseason. I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
No, you're right. But Joe, I think the way that Joe commands the offense a little bit better to me, I feel like the chemistry between, the receivers have been better. His accuracy has improved because that was something that was a big question this offseason. And, we saw it in OTAs, right? Like, just the timing wasn't there, too much on the ball. But you're seeing him now, start his receivers. Clearly, that connection is important. He's timing it a lot better, not putting too much air on it. Too much velocity on it. It's a little bit more air on the ball in his throws. I don't know. I like just his confidence level, and I think that that's something you need. Also, it's somewhat similar to what Dak does, right? Joe Milton can run when he needs to. He makes good decisions in terms of his ability. And then you even saw Dak, break out for a little 15-yard run when they were doing red zone drills yesterday. So I think Joe Milton is going to be your QB2, and that competition is only going to get better.
Well, there you go. And real quick, I wanted to add to both of y'all's point about how things kind of feel lighter for Dak. There hasn't been a year that I can recall since he started his tenure with the Cowboys that there's been such an emphasis on leadership to where he doesn't have to feel like he's the leader, that takes a lot of the weight off. When you're the guy that everybody goes to for everything, you're never going to get a break. You don't have a work-life balance. That doesn't exist if you're just that one sole guy. So now each room kind of seems to have their own guys to where they can gravitate there, but then Dak's still, overall available. But Dak's also in a different place in his life. He has his 2 kids now, 2 beautiful little girls, his fiance, and, your priorities as a human naturally will shift that you want more time with them, and that's okay. And so, hell, if Dak can get that work-life balance, this is a sign that y'all can wherever you work as well. But real quick, I wanted to touch base on a guy that when we put these episodes together, we have a little group chat, and we kind of throw out during training camp, like, guys that we noticed, and Nicole's eyes on the ground over there. Who was the guy that you made sure to mention, hey, I have some notes on him, and why?
Oh, Maris Lufau.
There you
Absolutely.
go. Mm-hmm.
No, like the way that, well, one, it helps when you have veteran guys who have been in the NFL quite some time, who are coming into this room, and who, of course, guys like Jack Sanborn who know Eberflus's system. Obviously, Eberflus is a linebackers coach. Hello. And it helps, in terms of developing. And Maris had told me that he had been working on his speed because this defense, you got to be flying to the ball. It's constant running, like physicality and just everything. So he said that he's been working on speed, doing hill drills. Sorry, I almost got a little tongue twisted there. But I sat down with him and just told him, something that he's also been emphasizing or told me this off season was that he was trying to get better at like diagnosing plays, because there were some times where he kind of misread things last season, even though he played a bulk of the defensive snaps. And he said that, like getting that year under his belt, just kind of learning from Eric Kendricks and now getting to learn from Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray and all those other guys. And hell, even DeMar being overshown, has really helped him. So expect to see really good things out of Maris Lufau. He's been taking a lot of first-team reps. So when they're in 3 linebacker sets, he has been, of course, taking first-team reps with Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray. But when there's 2 linebacker sets, he's been taking kind of second-team reps. But Kenneth Murray, who was not here yesterday because of the birth of his child, shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, Maris was alongside Jack Sanborn. So that'll be interesting to watch to see how Eberflus uses Maris, but I think he could really take a big jump this year.
And Aisha, who's your standout guy from these first few days of camp?
Barnacles is so hard. I would say a standout is going to be Jonathan Mingo. I think Jonathan Mingo coming along. Obviously, you see the formations and stuff they're doing with CD, Pickens, and Tolbert, and that looks like that's going to be like your 3 in that sense. But Jonathan Mingo and what he brings to the field and what he's able to do in the red zone and the control and stuff, I think he's having a good camp to start. He's showing that he can do it with multiple quarterbacks, and also too, I mean, if Jonathan Mingo is your 4th wide receiver, however it works out, I mean, you like to think that you got a pretty good wide receiver core and you have some depth there. So for me, it's Jonathan Mingo. Kind of a rough start last year, coming in with no Dak Prescott, but he is making the most out of his connection also too with Milton when they're with the twos. I mean, he's doing his thing as well, and I think that he and Mingo and him are going to have a good preseason. So Jonathan Mingo is my standout. Somebody keep an eye on.
I'm going Tyler Guyton, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies who I'm talking to here on Girls Talk, Boys Talked Up. I'm going Tyler Guyton because this guy, look, we know what we saw last year. The weight of the world was going to be on the weight of him coming into this training camp. So for me, for him to come out there and make good impressions consistently, not every other play, not a few snaps, no. Dude has his feet planted straight in that ground. You're not moving him. He's making plays. He's holding his own. His push is really strong. His handwork has definitely improved from the videos that we've seen posted. I'm very proud of him. So for me, my standout guy these first few days is going to be Tyler Guy, and good for him for shutting people up. That's all I got to say. Good for him. Speaking of shutting up, ladies, we got to go. We've ran over our time here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Nicole, we appreciate you taking your time out from your busy schedule in Oxnard to chat with us. We miss you, but we will be back on next week. We will have Bree back on with us as well. So with that being said, y'all have a great weekend. Follow Nicole for Eyes on the Ground coverage in Oxnard, so that way you can continue to see how things go throughout the weekend. For Aisha Morrison, Nicole Hutchison, Jess Navarez, this has been Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. We'll see you next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!